So what we're going to do is we were going to do moves for like resets. So these are going to be like 1 minute moves of like body reset, 1 or 2 minute moves, depending on how mean I'm feeling when we do it, basically. So, and I'm going to hopefully know everything that we both wrote down. So what I was going to say, so you'll need a chair for some of these. So I've designed some of the exercises can be done seated in a chair or just seated. So if you want to sit on the floor, that's fine. Adele, I can't remember the starfish breathing one. That's one you're going to do.
I can do that.
Yeah.
I can do that.
So this is going to be kind of, so there's some that you can do in a chair if you don't want to get up for your break, and then some of them are standing exercises, and then we've got 2 breathing exercises at the end. Just move it.
Just mute ourselves. Do you want us to mute?
Yeah, shall I mute you guys?
I just need 2
Yeah.
minutes.
Cool. Okay, so so you guys can unmute yourself, obviously, if you want to at any point. But actually, I thought we might as well start with the standing stuff. So I'm going to start super gentle. So God, it's still really dark in here, sorry. Move that side. Try not to knock stuff over. Okay, let's see if that helps. Okay, so we're going to start feet are sit bone distance apart. And you're just going to start by drawing figures of 8 with your hips. So you can just start with just some easy, move your feet, let the feet go, let it go as big as you want. You can be as salsa sexy or not as you'd like, don't mind. And then you can start to let your shoulders go if you want. And just really let your feet roll in and out, let them move, let the knees go. That's it, nice, good guys. And then we'll go the other way. If you can remember what your other way was. Nice, oh Jenny, good shoulders going on there, love it. That's it, you can allow your arms to go. So if you were feeling very dancery, you know, you can let the arms go in as well, add in these figures of 8 with the arms. Just allow yourself to have some little salsa hips, so just figures of 8 with the hip, let your arms go if you want. That's it, good. And you know, you could walk your feet around if you're in the mood, so you could just start to go around the room should you desire. Again, you don't have to. You can make it if you fancy into a Strictly moment. Add in some arms, add in some little twirls. And just allow yourself going, moving the hips and the back. And the key really with a reset a lot of the time is allowing our spine to move in twists and lateral bends. So trying to get your spine to do the rotation and the lateral bends, great for the fascia, just really ease up the whole of the spiral line through the body, affects all of the other fascia lines. So it's just a really nice cool one to work. Okay, and then we're going to come back to find a centered place. Okay, you can take a moment. And then we're just going to do opposite knee tap with your hands. So just tapping the hand and the knee. And just crisscrossing, it's called. So this is, and we've touched on this in a previous workshop, is crossing the hemispheres of the brain. So just starting to allow those hemispheres to work together. So sometimes, depending on what we're doing, we can sometimes get a bit stuck in one side of the brain. And you can, if you want, start to pick this up towards a little bit of a, if you're feeling like you need to energize yourself a bit more. So if you want to start going a little faster, and then if you wanted, you could turn them into your yoga jogs. So just having that nice little jog on the spot. Tapping opposite hand to knee is the key for the coordination. That's it, good guys, I'm going to keep going. Just get a little bit of heart rate going. So this might be, if you're really in the mood, just make sure you go through the ball of the foot first when you land. Trying to be as light as you can, less of an elephant. You got another 5 seconds to go. And obviously you don't have to do the high impact if you don't want to. You can keep it low. You got 2, 1, and then you can come back down, just walk it out. Good, nice guys. So stay standing and we're just gonna go opposite shoulder taps with your hand, little twist. And again, like the figure of 8s, you can let the foot lift and take that twist, allow the hips to move. And if you wanted, you can make it more kind of aerobic style, reach the arm over, and that increases the twist. So you can give yourself more, or you can stay with the taps and allow it to be a little bit more fascia-led, which when we do the taps, it just helps to kind of break through the lines in the body. Good, and then if you were feeling super coordinated, she says, not sure if I'm in that mode, you're gonna start to tap the back foot. So your kind of little heel taps, lifting your heel to the bottom and trying to tap your hands to the back foot. So I'm going to turn around so you can see me. And again, this is cross patterning, but now we're doing the back of the body. So really useful in terms of coordination of brain and body. Oh, lots of cardio going on here, guys. So this was our real, like, let's try and wake up mode. There's more to come, sorry. Maybe we shouldn't have listed it in this order. So we'll stop. Okay, let's stay still for a moment. Bring your hands to your shoulders. Okay, and you can just do those little spins just to ease up the back. Like you've got those little propellers on each elbow. Just keep going with that twist. Nice, good guys, that's it. Really going only so fast as feels good for you. And then we'll come back to center. And as side bending is such a good thing to do, you can interlace the fingers, push them up to the sky, and then just start to bend over to one side. Just take a nice big side stretch. And obviously, if you've been sat still, if you've not been moving very much, just be careful with how big you go. And then going the other way. And if you go with the breath pattern, if you want, if that feels good, it just helps move through the side body a bit better. And think about how it's your side body that connects your front and back together. So we want to be opening it with gentleness. That's it, just going as far as feels good for you. Keep your feet really plugged into the ground, especially the opposite foot from where you're bending. Okay, we're then going to come back. Okay, so we had skipping. Now, Adele was saying with a skipping rope, I say like you're a 4-year-old dancing with the fairies. So you choose which skipping you'd like to do. I'm going with fairies, like we do when we're doing ballet with kids. We want to point our toes and float around. Now, you may not feel that's appropriate. You could always do skipping this way, if that feels better. But because sometimes when we're taking ourselves really seriously, I think it's nice to play like we're a little kid, let our inner child have a dance. And from dancing like fairies and skipping around, you can feel free to then have any little move you want. So you could go to that intuitive movement we started doing the other week, of just having a little, whatever, how your little child wants to move. And sometimes it can be very slow, and sometimes it might just be a little bit quicker. The next thing that children love to do is to play spinning top. So be mindful of your space and how dizzy you might want to make yourself. Put your hands on your shoulders and it's going to be spinning, just spinning. So spinning is really good for us. It can help us come back into our balance and our center. Try if you can to keep spotting at a certain point as you turn, and this will improve your focus and your balance. And then we'll stop. Take a moment, just come to your feet and really ground into your feet. Focus on the intention of your feet touching the floor. And notice your breath. And let your breath settle. And because we've got to go 2 ways, you're going to have to turn the other way. So hands back to the shoulders if you want, or out to the sides, and we're turning the other way. You can stop whenever you feel ready. And then we'll stop. Good, and come back again to the sensation of your feet. Feel them touching the ground. And as you feel them touch the ground, come back into your breath. And feel your breath. Okay. So, to continue with our childlike moves, we've got star jumps. So that's jumping stars or jumping jacks, jumping in and out. This is an awesome warm-up. This is definitely, when it's cold, my favorite thing to do, apart from skipping. So really just enjoying this. We're going to try and go for the whole minute. Get the heart up, get that oxygen back into your brain, get all of your muscles going. Being as light as we can. So trying to tread through ball to heel of foot. Softening the knees and the hips. Got 10 more seconds to go, guys. Doing really good. Just choosing how big. You can turn your legs in external rotation or keep them in parallel for 2, for 1, and then come back to center. So Adele picked burpees. So I'm giving this one to Adele because I hate burpees. So I'm not going to do a full burpee. I'm going to do the nice version. She's about to override her mute, I can tell. No, me.
Do you want to do your nice version?
Oh yeah, I'll do the nice version. That's what I'm going to do.
And if anyone wants to do the full version, we can. But we'll do needs first, and then see what we feel like.
So my nice version is that we just rise onto the balls of our feet for a bit of balance, okay? And then we're going to bend our knees as we come down to our squat. Walk your hands forwards. So if you like planks, you can stay in a plank, or you could drop your knees. Find your little half push-up. And then walk yourself back. Find your little squat. Coming back up. Heel raise. Little squat. Hands to floor. Walk yourself out. Elbows bend. Push up. Walk yourself back. Squat. Lift up. Heel raise. Oops. Come down. Squat. Hands to floor. Walk yourself out. Elbows. Little kneeling push up. That's it. Good. Nice, guys. Walk yourself back. Nice. That's it. Good. Squat. Stand up and heel raise. 2 more times. Down and knees bend. So obviously, this is like a slow broken down version. You can be in a full push-up. You can, instead of holding the squat and doing the heel raise, you could do the jump. I quite like doing balance when I'm working and when I need a break, because it helps me come back into focusing. And that's what we're going to be doing next after this one. It's a little bit more balance. Squat. Come up 1 more round. heel raise, drop the heels, squat. Make sure those knees are going over second and third toe. Walk it out, pushing up. Woohoo! Everyone's taking clothes off, excellent. Squat, and then come back up and heel raise. Nice, good guys, okay. So that's my nice version of burpees. So I was going to also offer up another balance that I know I've definitely taught Raj this one before. So we started part of it at the beginning, which was the opposite hand to the knee lift, but I add in an extension. So you tap the opposite hand to your right knee, so left hand to right knee. Then what happens is we hinge at the hips, bending through your supporting leg, reach your right hand forwards, right leg back, balance. Then come back through, tap hand, left hand to right knee, and then put the foot back down. And then we go right hand to left knee. We hinge at the hips, find the balance. That's it, good. Bend the knee, tap. And then put the foot down. So I'm going to turn to face you guys now so it's easier for me to balance. Hand to opposite knee. Hinge and reach. Good. Hinge it back. And stand. Change sides. Hand to knee. Hinge. Reach the leg back. Good. Hinge and bring the knee up. And then foot down. And again, changing over, hand to knee. Hinge and reach. Really try and reach arm and leg like you're expanding out as long as you can. Tap and change. Hand to knee. That's it. You go as slowly as you need to for your balance. Slightly soften that supporting leg to help you with the movement through. And down. Do one more to each side. That's it, good, nice guys. Keep the low belly drawing up and in, try and keep your hips square. That's gonna help you with your balance. Notice your breath, see if you can keep your breath nice and steady, rather than feeling the wobbliness of the foot. Hinge back through and stop. Generally, all balances are good, but if you've got a moving balance like that, it makes you have to focus your brain a little bit more, which is actually really good for helping us come back into the present of our body and really being connected to the floor. So another really nice thing to do when you've been concentrating and you need a break is to do a plank challenge. So we thought, yes, exactly, a plank challenge. So I reckon all of us can easily do a plank for a minute. I'll let you guys choose if you want to be on elbows or hands. Adele was my face like, oh, you can all do it for a minute, right? Yeah, of course you can. Drop down onto your knees, drop into a box version of your plank if you find that that minute is not friendly enough. And feel free, yeah, that's it, good, Raj, come onto your elbows. That's it, Jenny onto your elbows as well if you need. And then we're going to lift up and hold. Keep drawing those low ribs up towards the sky. Press down through the forearms or the fingertips if you're on your hands. Think about using that to help you widen your collarbones on the front. And then draw your armpits slightly down like you're being tickled to engage your serratus under your armpits. And that will help you get that shoulder stability and draw into the abs a bit more. Keep the hip bones drawing together and slightly up towards your ribs. So low hips are pulling down, so pubic bone pulls up to navel and hip bones draw slightly up to navel, that will help. And then, you know, if you're bored, you can do things like rocking, if you want, but just make sure those hips don't lift and lower, keep them the same level, and keep the ribs the same level. Hey guys, we've only got 10 seconds to go. Exactly, you can do things like lifting your feet. You could even walk your plank, which basically involves going between elbow and then hands. And you guys can take a rest. That was a minute of plank. Woohoo. Sit back and take a break. Nicely done, guys. So another way to add in a bit of balance and a bit of twisting, as well as kind of waking up our legs, especially if you've been sat, are lunges. So we're going to get ourselves back up You can have a little stretch and a hang over your legs if you'd like, just to take a little break. Just allow those hamstrings to slightly open. And then bend your knees and roll up through the spine, one vertebra at a time. Coming back up to standing. Okay, so we're going to take a lunge. So this is going to be a static lunge. So stepping your right foot forwards. Now if you need to, if your balance isn't feeling great, you can either have a wall to hold onto or a chair, or you could drop your back knee onto the floor, okay? So feel free to take any of those options. And I'm going to turn to look at you all. So choose the stance that works for you. You can go wider if you need to with your balance, or narrower, and you may find different days, different need. Scissor your inner thighs, draw your front thigh back and your back thigh forwards. And then up to you, you can take prayer twist, arms out to the side, arms overhead. I don't mind, we're going to be twisting over that front leg. So we're just going to exhale and twist over the front leg. And then inhale, return back. And as you exhale, keep scissoring those inner thighs. So feel the traction in your groin, drawing your thighs in the opposite direction from where they're holding your body. Nice, guys. And then if you'd like, you could take it to hold the twist. So you can hold that twist, and if you want, you can drop the front hand down to the thigh and start to press the front hand into the thigh and look towards your back hand to challenge your balance further. And that will also intensify the stretch that's happening in the shoulders. So keep the chin lifted as you look back. Good, nice, guys. And then gently release the head to looking back, lift the front arm, come back to center, and then with complete grace, step forwards with that back leg, balance if you can. Yay, and join the other foot. Yay, nicely done, guys. Step the other foot back. Step it back, nice and long. Give yourself a bit of length in the legs. Feel a bit of that stretch into the back hip flexor. Scissor the thighs, so draw that back hip forwards and that front hip back, and then start to take the twist. And just moving it a couple of times can just help, and you can change your speed. But it's really good to do something that helps you get back into the strength of your legs and your standing strength, whilst adding in again movements of the spine. That's it, good. Keeping that scissoring in the groin. That's it. Try not to let the back hip release as you come back to center. Okay, we'll add in that stay and hold if it feels okay for you. So twisting back, drop the front hand to the outside of the knee. You can turn the palm out if that helps you keep the shoulder down, or in if it helps you get a bit more traction in the twist. So you can try both. And then you want to be looking towards that back hand if it's okay for the neck. Drop down the back shoulder as you do so. So really try and feel like you're letting it slide down, like you're gently pushing on a button with your back hand. And then just come to that steady breath again. Good, nice, guys. Let the head come back to the front. Lift up that back hand. And then again, with that nice graciousness that you all had, gently lift the back leg forwards, find your balance. And release. Okay. So our last bit of cardio for this, and then you get to sit, was little kicks. So just kind of like doing little flick kicks with your feet, like you're kicking a bin, is the first thing. Just little flick kicks. And this can be really nice if you're feeling a bit kind of annoyed about something or a bit frustrated. It's that sense of like kicking things out. And then you can add in little twists, so you can start to add in throwing those arms as you kick, and then maybe you can start to twist in the hips. That's it, you got it. And effectively what we're trying to get you to do is just anything that feels fun and free and easy and a bit silly to help us release all all of that, you know, productivity goal, frustration, whatever. Yes. And go another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come to still. Okay, so a really nice mobilizer is if you've got a wall or a pillar, is to stand against it for a roll down. But if you don't have it, don't worry. You can do it standing where you are. Just the nice thing about a surface is that you can feel what your spine is doing. And you want to have your feet away and knees bent. And then you just nod the head and you roll down, feeling your spine peel away from the wall, one vertebra at a time. And you just go wherever feels nice for your back. And then roll back up. And you might find that there's a sticky spot that feels really nice to hang out in. Oh, nice, Raj, beautiful view with that. That's it, nice, Jenny, good. Just really let the arms hang. Let them fall out of the shoulders. And this is just medicine for keeping your spine mobile, but also building up some of that core strength. You really use the abs to help you press your spine one vertebra at a time into the wall. And obviously if you feel like it, you can hang all the way over and slightly straighten the knees and find a bit more of a hamstring stretch if that feels good for you. Try and allow your arms to be nice and heavy. That's it. Go on, let those arms dangle, Jenny. Let the arms fall out. So go on, Raj, let your arms be heavy. Better. And obviously when you get to the bottom, if you feel like a little rock side to side, that can be quite a nice release for the lower back. And I think there's nothing that kind of beats hanging for some reason. And then when you're ready, bend your knees and rolling up one last time through the spine. Okay. So the first, kind of like the first thing I'm going to show you, it is easier if you've got a chair, but I can also show you a non-chair version. What we're going to do seated. So I did these seated because I thought it was quite nice for you guys to have some stuff you can do in a chair, but I'll show you the alternative. So the first one is actually you only want to sit with one butt cheek on your chair, but both feet want to be as level as possible. So you've got to hang one off the side of the chair. Already it feels a bit awkward, right? So you have to engage your core a little bit in order to not collapse, right, and hurt your hip. So that's the first step, right? Is so you could just be sat and you could be like, oh, I need to move. So you just shift your bottom, drop one butt cheek off, and then your work is not just to hold it, but you then want to start to drop and lift those hips. So it's a dropping and lifting, and feel the core engagement and the hip engagement. You've got a great chair there, Raj, for doing this. Got that lovely dent in the middle, right? It's a bit hard, but well done. That's good. And really what we're trying to do is not overly work the shoulders. So it's hard to see because I'm a bit dark in the hips. This side, let's get a bit better. Is that I'm moving my hip, but I'm trying not to overly work my shoulders. So all this work is happening in the side of the hips and the side waist. This is such a nice one, I think, but anyway. And obviously you can do whatever you want with your hands. Hands on shoulders are always good, just to take them out of the way. Come to the other side, guys. Try the other side of your chair and just see how that feels as a different sit bone. You might notice your hips are kind of quite different. This is so easy for me. The other side is definitely stiffer. So the alternative to this, by the way, is called bum shuffles on the floor, which is where you walk your sit bones along your mat. Yeah, so you put your legs out straight like this, and you do that walk. You walk with your bottom Yeah, and that's doing a similar thing, okay? You've got to use the internal obliques and the glute med to help you with the walking, okay? So your hip flexors. So that's your mat version if you wanted it. We're then going to go in for a twist on the chair. So take your right hand, lift it up, circle it around and put it towards the back of your chair. Hopefully you've all got backs of your chair. That's it, good. Take your left arm, take it over your right knee, and then turn and look towards that back right hand. Try and grow tall through your spine. Really get that length, like you're reaching the crown and head towards the sun or moon, depending on what hemisphere you're in right now. And then release the arms back to center. Take that left arm, reach it up and over, really big, like yawny reach to the back of your chair. Take that front hand, take it over the knee. If you had an arm, you can put it on the arm, but none of us have arms on our chairs, so we have to put it on our knees. And then the other thing is to press that left thigh into your right hand as much as you can on that front leg to really activate, and that will intensify the twist into your shoulders. And it starts to almost like lift you up and off your seat. And then come back to center. And then I'm going to turn on sideways so you can see me. Then we're going to grab our back of our chair. So depending on your shoulder comfort, you might want to be quite low in your hands. Yeah, if that feels better for you, having your hands a bit lower. Try and squeeze and roll the back of the armpits back. If you can go higher, you can go to that higher positioning with the elbows lifted, a bit like a tricep exercise. And then try and squeeze the elbows together and start to try and lift the chest. So if your arms are down, it's the same thing, trying to squeeze the elbows together and lift the chest. When the arms are lower, it's easier to make it a low back stretch. And when the elbows are involved and it's a bit higher in the shoulders, you'll really feel it much higher up across the top of the chest. So you can play with that. But the key is to try and squeeze those elbows together. And then breathe nice and full. And then release the arms. And come back. And then if you are seated, the other thing you can do, of course, is to do something with your ankles. So you lift your foot, you can cross it over so you get a bit of a nice glute stretch, like our figure 4, and then start to circle in the ankles. And just go the other way. And then you can let the ankle just stay a little bit flexed if you can to protect the knee, and start to reach forward with the chest. Coming in for a nice little piriformis stretch. Because pretty much everyone always says that this feels tight, right? Yeah. I remember once my Molly once saying to me that I was the only person she'd met who never got tight with this, and I was like, yeah, but I just feel really aggressive and like I want to punch you. So I think that makes up for it. Okay, then you're going to sit back up, you're going to take this top leg and you're going to try and straighten it out and hold it up. So use those quads, use your hip flexors, still try and sit up as tall as you can, try not to roll backwards, so try and sit on that, reach your arms up if you can to give yourself that extra challenge. Squeeze, pull up your kneecaps, that's it, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. 3, 2, 1, and then let the foot come back down. Oh, nice. Pick up quads, other foot, so up it comes, nice little ankle circles. See, this is the nice bit, right? And then going the other way. Pretty much anything that you want to do with your ankles will always be happy when they've been sat on the floor, right? And then keep the ankle flexed. Allow that knee to drop down as much as you need to. Keep those sit bones nice and down, and then gently reach forwards, enjoying that stretch into your hip. Nice, easy breaths. Letting the belly soften. And then we'll sit back up. Take that top leg, kick it out in front. Sit up nice and tall, and if you can, reach those arms up. Kick through the heel. The more you kick through the heel, the easier it becomes because the more it engages the glutes, which actually helps you with lifting that leg. Honestly, they used to say it to me when I was doing ballet and I was trying to get my foot in my nose, and I was always just like, it just feels so strong on the quads. I don't believe you, but it does work if you kick through your heel, and don't, if you point your toes, really is much harder. So kick through the heel. That's it for 2, for 1, and then let the foot come down. Give those quads a little. Cool. So obviously, any of that kind of like knee stuff, all of that cross brain stuff, you can do seated. Yeah, and you can do it that way. Another way for us to do some cross brain balancing work is breathing. So I'm going to come closer. So we have 2 exercises left. So I'm just going to do a quick, I don't think I'll do the full version. We remember doing mental nuddy shoulder. So this is an easy one to do. Obviously you guys, if you will work from home, so you'll have the capacity if you want to take the fingers to the forehead and the thumb of your right hand and your thumb to your right nostril, if you want, okay? It's an option, you don't have to. If you don't want to do this version, you can do it without the hands, okay? But I'll show with, seeing as we're all here. So take a nice exhale, release the air, and then close your right nostril with your thumb, and inhale through the left nostril. Close that left nostril with your 4th finger. Open your right nostril with your thumb, and exhale. Inhale through the right nostril. Close it with your thumb. Open the left and exhale. Inhale through the left. Close the left nostril. Open the right and exhale. Inhale through the right. Close the nostril and exhale out of the left. And then release your hands. And obviously, normally I would say we try and do that for 5 rounds, both sides. It's like a good starting point, working with what feels a comfortable pace of breath for you. And then you can do that a couple of times, is always better. But obviously, just even starting with that 5 times if you can is really nice and balancing for the nervous system. So especially if we start feeling really anxious and overwhelmed at getting our stuff done, it can be a really nice way just to come back and get a bit centered so that we can then look at what our tasks are to do. And then Adele's going to finish with some starfish breathing.
This is one that we actually normally do with kids, but it's such a great tactile one to do that I wanted to show you anyway, just because it's the sort of thing you can do anywhere. And it's a good way just to bring your awareness, it's like a mindfulness practice, to bring your awareness to the sensations. So your hand is like the starfish. And then what you do is you breathe in as you're tracing your finger up the outside of your thumb. And then you breathe out as you're tracing your finger back down the inside. And then you breathe in as you're going up the index finger. And you breathe out as you're going down the other side of the index finger. So you get the idea. As you're breathing in, you're going up, and as you're breathing out, you're going down. That's all you have to remember. And then it helps to close the eyes and just feel the sensations, and taking as long as you need to make a full in-breath and full out-breath. So really slowing it down to match the pace of the breathing. And when you get to the base of the finger, of the little finger, right down to the wrist, then you start again on the other side. So you start tracing up the thumb, and you keep going until you've finished. And you can repeat as many times as you like. But even just doing it once, both hands, just takes maybe 30 seconds or a minute. It can be enough just to bring you into the moment. Calm the breathing, calm the mind. And be ready for the next task. And if you're doing it, if you've got other people around you and you don't want them to know you're doing it, you can do it like this. You can see? Yeah. You just do it behind your hand, behind your back, for example, while you're just standing there. Or in an elevator, or, you know, when you go back to work in your car, if you're sitting at the traffic lights getting frustrated, you can start doing it then. Or if you've got kids, you can show them. They might like it. Might help everybody. That's it.
That is it. So, I'm gonna unmute you guys.
I love that one. Thanks, Adele. That was great.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really sweet.
Yeah, and really tactile.
Yeah.
Because you've got more than just your breath to focus on. Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
And this is the breathing one. I wasn't sure, am I in and out on the same nostril, or is it in one nostril, out the other?
Yeah, in, out, in, out. In, out,
Like a,
in, out.
Hang on. In the left?
In
Out
the
the
left,
right.
always start on the left. So in through the left, then out through the right, then in
Yeah.
through the right, and out through the left.
Yep, okay.
I like to think of it as a mountain.
Yeah.
So you have to climb up the mountain to get to the top, which is here. And then you have to go down the mountain to go out. But then to get back to the other side, you have to go back up the same side. So your breath's doing this.
Yeah, so it's not a triangle. It's like a wishbone. That's what I think of it as. It reminds me of a wishbone. So it's like making a wish, and then you know when you learn to retain the breath, you retain it in your wish zone, and then you let it go, and then you bring the wish back in, hold it in the wish zone, and then let it go. But you always want to start and end on the left nostril, just so it kind of helps it from not being too stimulating. There's a few times where you start on the right, but really you just think about it starting on the left.
Because the left is the cooling side. Cooling, calming.
So in, and then out, and then in, and then out.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
It's a really great breath to learn, and you can do it mentally as well if you don't want to do the hands, so you can just practice it in your mind. Can be really nice as well to do. I like using it when I do yoga nidras and sticking it in for people, because it's just really nice and balancing mentally as well.
And a good way to do that is to feel the sensations in each nostril as you're breathing in and out. So you can use that. You know, okay, I can feel the sensations I'm breathing in through my left, and then I focus on the sensations I'm breathing out through the right, and then focus on the coolness as it's coming in again, and then focus on the sensation coming out. That's how I like to practice.
Any practices that you'd recommend for like feeling of organs?
Is it, sorry, I didn't catch the last bit, Jenny.
Do you have any practices you could recommend for healing of organs?
Healing.
I have issues with my bowel, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, do you know abdominal breathing? So doing like real Buddha belly breathing is really good for the stomach, because what it starts to do is it allows you to massage the fascia of the stomach. So it naturally lets the organs in the abdomen kind of massage themselves through the breath. So, you know, a lot of like fascia healing work is done through really good soft breath. So really soft, full, slow abdominal breathing will start to just help relax it, and often that then starts to help it learn to move more naturally to its own rhythm. And then once you've kind of mastered that, then you can start to look at controlling your abdominal breath and utilizing different techniques depending on whether you need to like activate and get your abdomen kind of stronger and more fire, or whether or not it still needs more cooling. So that might vary depending then at that point, but the most important thing is the abdominal breath, and just really getting that really full, like really letting your belly hang out and relax.
And what about like visualization? Can you use that as well?
Yeah, visualization can be really helpful, especially if you're not comfortable with just the physical sensations. So like there's a really beautiful Tai Chi breath that they call baton breathing, which is where you just kind of imagine it like a baton that's kind of expanding out through your body, and then it draws back into the baton. So the baton's like your kind of like your core center, and you let it radiate out through the whole of your body to your fingertips and then radiate back in. And it's like watching a light radiate out and radiate back in. So it becomes this like flowy feeling that you can kind of visualize growing in and out from your center. I often talk about starfishes because I find that starfishes are a beautiful creature to think of, like how they unfold and draw outwards naturally from their center. So kind of imagining you're a starfish and you're unfolding as big and expansive as you want. And starfish pop their bellies and then they soften in and kind of recoil.
Yeah.
That helps.
And a similar one is to imagine you have a golden ball of energy in your hands, and you can just let it pulse and feel it or visualize it, and build up the heat in between your hands. And then you can visualize yourself bringing it into your belly and then placing your hands on your belly, and then feel the heat of your hands on your belly, because that helps to warm that area and bring energy to it and awareness, and helps you to connect the mind to the belly. And then you can feel that ball of heat of light inside the belly as well, and sort of pulsing or generating heat inside the belly. Because a lot of the time we need to increase our what they call digestive fire, or Agni in Ayurveda, and that fire helps us to digest and process and eliminate. So by bringing our awareness, our attention to that space, and consciously trying to bring heat into that space, and physically doing it with the hands and visualizations can help to stimulate the digestive fire, and that can help to also get things moving.
And the other one is to stimulate the movement of the digestive system. So, I mean, and it's one of those like ridiculously natural things that you do when you're with a child who's got stomach ache, and that is to like put the hand on the stomach and just draw circles going in a clockwise motion, and just doing that is incredibly soothing for the nervous system and the digestive system, and it just helps. It's amazing how when you start doing that, it will just start gurgling and doing all of this its own stuff. And you know, it's funny if you think to the kind of things you naturally do as a parent for a really small child that doesn't know what's going on, like the natural ways that you would place your hand, if you start doing that on your body, where you're feeling stuff, it naturally you're drawn to what's going to help you generally. So that's a really nice easy one as well. And then sometimes you can use that to start to breathe with as well, so you can sync your breath with the hand circling the abdomen. If you're comfortable with touching your stomach, obviously.
Yeah. I also like if I'm feeling a bit tender when I first wake up in the morning, sort of feel into it a bit, and then if it feels okay, like if you start massaging sideways like this, so it's massaging the ascending colon on the right, and then it's massaging the descending colon, which is the colon out to do poo. So you're massaging both of those, and you can sort of feel, and also massaging down from the stomach down as well. And you can do it really gently if it's tender, but just feeling it, massaging it, and going side to side and down, that can really help to start to get things moving.
If you guys want, we could do, I've trained in a visceral manipulation technique for stomach massage. It's a healing technique from Chinese medicine. So we could go through like what that is as a specific practice that you can do first thing in the morning when your stomach's empty, just to kind of do on yourself to kind of move your digestive system. It's a really lovely, gentle practice that's very healing as well, and very soothing for the stomach. So
And constipation, I have an issue. I have Crohn's disease.
Crohn's.
yeah.
I know what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you definitely want to do as much as you can to alleviate the stress that's felt by your abdomen. So I think it's a lot is for you is definitely calming you so that it can work as efficiently as you can. I am going to have to stop the call because I have got I've got to teach in 3 minutes, so I'm going to have to stop this. I'll at least stop the recording.